Yep, we here, guys, in the kitchen where we stir the pot. And listen, we got a special guest today, guys. With it, I'm just gonna say, listen, he's the host of Daddy underscore Mentality podcast. Listen, guys, we got something great for you guys. Listen, is it Roger?
Rodney.
Is it Roger?
Rodney.
Rodney.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was excellent. I just came back from Texas.
Rodney, how was your weekend?
My weekend was excellent. I just came back from Texas.
How was your weekend?
Taking my daughter. You can't hear me? You hear me, right, Lady T?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and go. So just took my daughter to do some college visits. Realistically, I'm from the DMV area. My daughter's probably going to end up staying in this area, but I wanted her to get the experience that a lot of Black kids don't get to go and experience and go see some of these huge, giant colleges. So we went to Baylor, Texas A&M, and we also went to Prairie View, a nice HBCU, to check it out. So I had a great weekend, and my son just graduated from the Air Force. So he's off to do his duty. So yeah, I'm living high right now, man.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Air Force.
Okay. All right. Lady T, what about yourself?
I rested. I got good rest this weekend. The weekend was all about me relaxing, having just my time to take care of me, do what I have to do for myself. It was good. I've been doing a little bit too much lately. So this weekend was a rest weekend. So I'm feeling more refreshed and, more excited. I'm not dragging as much as I was last week. Remember that? How was your weekend, Chef?
Last week was a rough week. But yeah, my week was great. It was great. It was tip top shape. We went out. We went to a 10-year renewal of the vows. It was awesome. Spending time with friends and family. It was just a wonderful time. Spending some quality time with the wife. It was just like, relaxing and rejuvenating. And then also next week, we getting ready to go to San Antonio. We're going to have a ball out there. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Some different type of weather, different type of people. Just, I'm going to be doing my thing, out there, politicking and talking to people and just meeting new people and bringing new people to the stage as well as to this platform. I know I got a job ahead of me, but you know what I do. I do what I do. But without further ado, we're gonna jump right in this topic. It was kind of long for me to put it up there, but so I'm gonna have to read it out. But I had to break it up. So I'm gonna show you guys. Today's topic is something real interesting, and it's gonna be real interesting. It's what lessons learned would you prepare your child for, and what generational curses would you educate your child on? So, since we have Rodney here today, Rodney, let's go with the first part. What lessons you have learned would you educate your kids on now? I know they may be grown, but still, it's still an opportunity to educate them on something that you've learned that can benefit them in this world today.
Well, so I have the whole gambit. So I've been married for 24 years. I have a 23-year-old. I have a 17-year-old who's in the comments, and I have a 10-year-old son. So I have boy, girl, boy. And one of the biggest things, one of the things that I've definitely taught my children is etiquette and kindness. You know what I'm saying? And also what you put out into this world is what you're going to get back. That was one of the biggest things that I talked to my kids about, and God did bless me with all great children. So I'm so happy about that. That my kids are all excelling way past I was, because I was a knucklehead. I barely graduated from high school, and if it wasn't for my wife, I wouldn't have graduated from high school. I met her in high school, so. and then I did go to college for a short time and then partied my way out. So, but all my kids on a way different level than I was. So, it's really just about being honest with them and just and also creating a safe place within your household where you can have those tough conversations. I feel that two things are happening now today with parents. One, we have kids raising kids. And then two, parents want to be their child's friend more than they want to be the child's parent. And those two things are what has got really, to me, has got things going in the wrong direction. But if you take the time and give your kids a safe place where they can come and talk to you, but you still have to be a parent. You can't be your child's friend. So, it's just the lessons that they learned is more just what you put out into this earth to come back to you, and also taking care of yourself and helping others. So
yeah, that's good.
Lady T.
Well, I do have a list, so
Lady T.
I'm gonna go through my list. Okay, so this is not in order. This is not about order, but it's just the list. So I would say self-respect and confidence. That has to be something that the child needs to know, not to be afraid, to have the values, the principles, encourage of self-confidence, and acceptance of who they are and what they need to improve, things like that. I would say empathy. You said kindness, Rodney, and I agree. Empathy and kindness. I think that we're not really empathetic anymore of other people. And so I would try to, instill in my children empathy and kindness to, try to give kindness acts to other people. Responsibility and accountability. I mean, you have to be responsible for yourself. It's all about your self-worth and how you feel about yourself. So, and being accountable for mistakes and things like that. Hard work and persistence. When you're doing things and that you're persistent in it, you're going to see the outcome that you want. There are so many things. Like, I think that, we have to teach our children when they're young. And these are those little things I think really matter. I don't want to say I would, and I didn't do this. I'm going to be honest. I really didn't do a whole lot of religious beliefs with my children because I wanted them to learn about themselves and how to explore the world and understand different type of people. Because we are in a world with so many different belief systems, I needed them to understand their own self-worth as an individual and what they have to offer to the world and what they can offer to their friends and the person on the street. So it was all about self with, my children. So these are the things I did my best to teach my children. My daughters have a 28-year-old and a 23-year-old, 2 girls and no children. One's getting married next year. So I've done an okay job. There's nothing wrong. They're doing well. But it was more about wanting them to really enjoy life, not get caught up in a lot of dogma ways where, you have to be a certain way mindset. So I wanted them to really know that this world is like what you make it. And I did try to instill that. And I still think that is what we should be teaching our children. But we do teach a lot of fear. And I mean fear like in the way where, we're like, don't do this, don't do that. But children are going to learn through their experience and their mistakes. That's what life is all about. They have to go through the trials and tribulations of life and stumble and fall and, get back up again. So I really did try to, go through the journey with them, with their mistakes, and just try to figure out with them, make them see things a little bit different, make them see what their ways, what they did that might have cost them something. Like, so it's going through not as a friend, but as a parent that knows I was a child too. And I wanted to be like my mom to do this or that, or my dad to do this and that. So I'm going to give that to my child. So I always thought that way. And it wasn't more of a friend. It was more of a partnership where I looked at them as, this is mine. It came from me, right? And I'm going to do what I can to protect this child, but also love and give freedom to let the child grow. That was long, I know. So, but that was me.
You was giving nuggets, I'll tell you.
What about you, Chef?
So now me, it's a little different. And I guess I guarantee you guys are going to relate to what I'm saying. The lessons that I learned, I only have really one far as that is communication. Communication is key because being able to navigate in a world like this, you have to communicate well on different levels. Communicate, with different races, communicate with finance, communicate in love, communicate in. You got to be able to communicate, man. And communicate is, I think, is a big tool to navigate in this world. Being able to communicate with people on different levels, being understand them if they're not having a good day, how you communicate with them so you can have a conversation with them, even if they're upset, even if they're depressed. The communication is key because a lot of relationships last longer when you have good communication. You have communication on romance. If it's not romance, finance. You know what I'm saying? And these things keep stability in a relationship when it comes down to man and a woman. You know what I'm saying? So communication is key. From top to bottom. If you have good communication, guess what? And you have a child, and let's say you have 2 children already, right? And you started to learn how. Well, I'm saying myself. That's what lessons learned is communication is key. Now that I have grown children, they grown now, right? Over the time, I didn't communicate well with them. So now, guess what? I have nieces and nephews. I communicate with them well, and let them know. And I know when I say something to them, they feel it. They understand that Uncle Rel really loves them because they see it. They see the genuine. They don't see somebody flip-flopping. When I say something, I mean it, and they can feel it. And that comes from me being able to communicate with them on a whole nother level, even though they're a child, even though they may be a young adult. So communication is, for me, is front runner. That's big because you can be able to, I think you can navigate in this world more and more efficient. So that's my thing. Lessons learned because I wasn't a good communicator. You know what I'm saying? And in my communication, guess what? I was selfish. I wasn't a giver. I didn't give time. I was like, you know what? Well, if I can't get nothing out of it, it's nothing for me.
Did you lose him?
I hear you.
Yeah, I lost him.
It goes in and out sometimes.
All right. Well, I I'll jump in real quick because the communication is very key. One of the things, and I wanted to get into when we get into the generational curse thing is teaching your kids how to communicate their emotions is huge for me in my household, and it's one of the generational curses that I've worked to break in my house. Because back in the day, it was children were meant to be seen, not heard. Back in the day, it was, don't talk until somebody's talking to you type situation where, kids were not able to express how they were feeling. And a lot of times when they express those things, and I grew up in the church background and stuff like that, they expressed that they were depressed. The answer was pray it away, and all those things I've really worked hard to break in my household where my family, my kids feel that, because we always talk about expressing emotions, and when my kids express them, I don't shun them. I don't push them away. I give them the space. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't give them the space to stay in that realm. Like if they're upset and they're depressed or something happened at school and they come home and they express that to me, the next step is, well, what are we going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? What's going to happen next that we can, if this happens again, because it will happen again, you know what I'm saying, throughout your life, how do you handle it without exploding? without going off or fixing, and we had those tough conversations where, they got to express themselves, and what it did, it taught them so that in the future when those incidents happen, that you know how to work through them. Your only answer isn't anger, which I feel that especially as a male, I felt like I was taught that the only emotion I'm allowed to express is anger. You know what I'm saying? I'm not supposed to cry. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to do that. You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, we have to let our children, I mean, they're going to cry. They're going to have situations. They have feelings. You know what I'm saying? So you got to let them work through it. But the object is to teach them how to take those emotions and not express it in anger, but actually learn how to work through those emotions. And I feel like that's something that we as a culture didn't do. And, I feel like it's really important. So that's just something I was just throwing in there, Lady T. How you feel? I don't know if Chef got it back.
Chef?
But you know what, guys? I found my my other notes. So I said earlier, yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
T, can y'all hear me?
Yes, you're delayed.
All right, so look, I also this thing is getting on my nerves. I'm not doing this. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Go ahead, Jeff.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if he can hear us.
Can he see us? I'm nodding. Yeah.
All right, now what? This thing acting up today.
Oh yeah, it's really
I think it's because you're a 49ers fan.
It's the right, and how my faith relationship with Christ helped me make better choices.
I got part of it.
It's really delayed today. You there? I froze. Okay. But yeah, I agree with you about the communication. There's a poor communication pattern that we have as people, where we shout, where we have passive aggressive ways, and we don't really express our feelings. And that is something that, you have to really work with your children all the time as they get older.
Can y'all hear me?
When you get older. Yes. You're frozen though. But this is the worst ever when it comes to.
It's all good. Trust me. I've been on enough podcasts to know that sometimes it's technical issues.
Look, it's normally me, so I'm surprised it's him.
It's all good. Yesterday, I thought I was playing a video and everybody was sitting there blank. There was no video being played. And I was sitting there like, so what y'all think about that? They was like, yeah, we didn't see nothing. I was like, oh, well, let me try that again. So, it happens for sure. But yeah, I'm down with going on, Lady T. I'm good. We can till he gets it fixed. We can keep it going. We're still live. So
I agree with him what he was saying about healthy communication skills. That is very key. You back? Hi.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Yo, that's a way better. You look better. You're clear now and everything, man.
Not frozen.
Yeah, you should have took that hat off earlier, man.
It was acting up. It was acting up. I don't know, but back to what I was saying. I was saying degree of finance, how in finance is important. That's key. That was far as lessons learned. My pops always worked. They didn't teach me. He didn't really teach us about finance. He just worked. You know what I'm saying? He provided. He was a great provider. That was it. Far as teaching us how to save and invest our money in things. Nah, it wasn't like that. He was just a hard worker and just working hard and made sure we had food, clothes, and everything that we needed for school, all those type of things. Transportation, we really didn't catch the bus. He always dropped us off, picked us up. So that was the type of things, and that I learned, as far as the degree of finance, and then how my faith and relationship with Christ helped me to make better choices. And I did not, my relationship now, it helps me make better choices. And that's what I've learned over the course of my life, and I try to instill in my children is because of that. It helps me make wiser choices. It helps me choose right people to be around, the company that I keep. Also, the environment that I choose to live in is going to be, pouring into my life, not taking something from me, not stressing me out. It's always positivity. It's always pouring into my life.
We was doing good.
People that I have around me, we are all pouring into another, you know what I'm saying? And when they're transparent to one another. So yeah, that was my lessons learned, that I taught my children.
All right. I don't know what you want. Is everything, all your other windows closed?
So now I know Rodney wanted to get to huh?
You were doing good, then it started messing up.
Say that again.
I was making sure all the other windows on your computer's closed.
Rough day today.
In the comments, Victoria Glover said the elections causing technology to act up. Shout out to Victoria Glover. That is my lovely wife.
I'm sorry,
maybe. Word. Maybe. Because
you right, though. You right. That's going to be interesting. That's all we can say.
Hey, but that's why I said technically causing a... Yeah, because I'll tell you right now, it is bugging out. I never have like this. This is like crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But so Rodney, what's generational curses have you learned, and would you like to teach your children about or educate them on generational curses?
Well, the biggest generational curse, like I said, was I kind of already mentioned quite a few of them, which is that working with their emotions, because like I said, as a child back in my day, that's how I wasn't allowed. You're not allowed to speak until being spoken to. You can't really, as a boy, I was told, not to cry, suck it up. You know what I'm saying? When something happened that I was emotional about, I was told I was not able to cry. And, and I just realized that for me, that the only thing that did was make me bottle it up. And the only emotion I would express later was anger. You know what I'm saying? For me, my father died when I was 11. So it was a very traumatic thing for me because I saw him that morning. And within an hour later, they're telling me he's dead, at 11. And it took me a long time to really cope with that. My mom wasn't there for me until so from 11 to 17, I kind of just floated around. Like I went between my brother's house, and then my mom was gone for a while and stuff like that. She had she ended up having a psychotic breakdown. Turned out that my mom had lupus, and this is crazy. My mom had lupus, but when my father died, it really activated it because stress and stuff like that. And back then, they didn't have the knowledge that they have about lupus and things like that. So it turned out my mom was suffering from lupus, and they put her in a psychiatric ward because they figure, oh, your husband died. These things are not really happening to you. You just feel like they are. You know what I'm saying? And so there was some time I was roaming around by myself. So, and then it took me to the point of, in the last, I think it was probably last 5 years, that I went to therapy and got therapy. You know what I'm saying? And that's a generational curse that I definitely have wanted to break in my family, that it's okay to say you need help. it's okay to say that I need to talk to somebody and work these things out, opposed to let's just pray it away. And don't get me wrong, I'm very active in the church. I love my church. Shout out to Elevate Church. You know, Pastor Dorsey, he was my youth pastor. So when nobody was there for me, he was there for me. He was my father figure during those times. And there was one time he sat down with me and Coach, who was the other host on our show when we were 17, and told us that he was the person that sat us both down and told us that if we didn't start getting our life together, that we would be dead or in jail before we turned 18. And he sat that down, and nobody else would have told me that. You know what I'm saying? At this point in time, I'm doing all the crazy things, but I still went to church. I still had that background. I went to church on my own. Nobody took me there. I went there because I needed that safe place. And Pastor Dorsey was my safe place. And we had that conversation. And then me and Coach, now we ended up separating because we figured the same thing, that we was gonna be dead or in jail if we didn't get it together. And now we're both host on the podcast, telling everybody how to get their stuff right. You know, he's a father of 4. His kids are in college. He's doing great. I'm a father of 3, and you know, we just really came back, and we didn't come back together until his mom passed away, which was about I think 6 or 7 years ago. So we didn't come back together as friends until then. So it was a huge gap. But the biggest thing, like I said, going back into the generational curses, is giving my children. I let them. We have discussions. We have weekly sit downs where we all are allowed to express what's going on. They tell me what's going on with school. We discuss it, things like that. Even my son now, he's in the Air Force. You know, he texts me several times because he's been working for a while. He's 23. When he had issues at work, to talk to him and work it out so that he would not lose his job and not get emotional, because you know, as a young man, it's a lot of things out here that's against you. So you gotta really be in tune with yourself, or else you can end up in jail just off of emotional reaction. So, you know, that's just something that I really feel is strong for me and my children, is just making it a safe place for them, that we can talk no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. And with my daughters, the same way. Sometimes she tells me things I don't want to hear. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to have that conversation with her, but I have to. You know, so that's what is the biggest generational curse, that in my household we work hard to, you know, take care of. So
yeah.
Hope we ain't losing Lady T.
Lady T, what about you?
Oh, I just want to make sure he was there. I would say
Lady T.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Just go ahead.
All right. I would say unhealthy coping mechanisms. And I mean that in a broad way. You know, there's unhealthy ways that we can deal with our stress, and it could be abuse of alcohol, abuse of cigarettes, abuse of food, abuse of money. You know, it's an abusive way of dealing with our stress, the mechanism of trying to deal with life. So the generational curse is really like, you know, there are a lot of addictions is what I'm basically saying. And to get out of the pattern of trying to be addicted, or, you know, getting into something that you're trying to avoid your problems by going deeper into something that's basically going to hurt you, you know, like, you know, doing too much of. So the coping mechanism of how we deal with life, that is something I would love to see as a generational curse that would be, you know, ended with when you tell your children young, and self-criticism. I think that when we are down on ourselves, when we make mistakes, you know, that we as people always seem to just bring ourselves so lowly to say, oh, I'm so mad at myself for messing up, and to stay stuck in the madness of being, you know, messing up, that you don't know how to really encourage that self-worth to get back up again. And I think that that is something that we as people need to really do better and show our children to do better, because we have to, encourage one another and to celebrate whatever achievements, even the failures, because sometimes failures are there to make us understand why we failed and what the failure was all about. Make you pay attention to what you're doing and how you did it messed up. You didn't do it the right way because you did this and that. So failures also have to be, looked at as a challenge, but it's still having the self-compassion to say, I still love myself and I'm going to go do it again. So a lot of people, get depressed and they go and, don't want to come out of the hole. And so that is something that, I don't want to have as a generational curse in life. We talked about poor communication. So that's another one, definitely communicating is the biggest thing. But I think that also has to do with what I was saying about the other two, the ones before. But another one is over dependency on people and outside things. You know how I am. My talk is all about know thyself. Love thyself first. Know who you are. Get to know yourself so that you can be the best self for everyone else, including yourself. And so we have a dependency on outside people or outside things, items. And so, that's something I wouldn't want to add on as a people pleasing type of thing. We always seem to have those type of people that like to please everybody. You got to say no sometimes. So there's a way to say no. And so the communication comes in. There's a way to say no when empathy comes in, but you have to learn how to say no because you need to set boundaries. And sometimes we don't set boundaries well enough to not allow people to overstep the boundaries, because I like to chop heads off. I'll bite your head off, if you don't do the boundary part, because I can't, I'm barking, this is my area, so I got to teach that for the children too. So that was just my little thing. What about you, Chef?
Okay. Yeah, that was the thing. Well, mine is my generational curse that was that one thing that I was teaching my kids is disobedience. Disobedience is a big generational curse. I think just about all humanity has a problem with disobedience because when you think about it, our parents tell us not to do something, and we just stepped out and we did it regardless of what. And then you look at children, they're probably doing the same thing. If not the same thing, they're almost doing something similar to what you was told not to do. And that's key, I think, or disobedience is big because we sometimes somebody will come along and tell you that's not to do something is going to be beneficial for you, and what you do, you go and do the opposite. And you just look at this new generation. Look at this new generation. Like Rodney said earlier, kids are having kids. You got 12-year-olds, you got 13-year-olds having kids. If it, the parents wasn't there, regardless, what I'm saying? I know someone told them not to have sex at an early age. They just did it anyway. That school, if not school, having sex at an early age. But just think about it. Someone in their life told them, listen, you shouldn't have sex at an early age because if you do, these are the things that might happen. Children, broken homes, no fathers around, drug addicts. All of this comes from just being disobedient. You know what I'm saying? And I think most people miss that part of generational curses because that overspills on your children, your great grandchildren, and so on and so on. Being able to be humble and being able to listen to correction is key. Some people don't like correction. We talked about this before. When it comes down to listening to somebody that's going to correct you, you can't tell me about what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. You don't have the authority, right? But then just think about it. You got to look at the person that's talking to you.
Are they saying it out of love or animosity? You got to look at those things. And as a child, can a child look at that and say if this person is telling me something good or bad? A child can't, right? Rodney, Lady T.
I think you want me. I'll go first, Lady T. You good?
Yeah.
We hear you. Whenever you stop talking, it's going to take a second before you can hear us for some odd reason. But we're talking. Don't worry. But oh man, now it went blank.
Okay.
Nah, it's good. So yeah, I went blank. Lady T, what was the question
again? You asked the question again, Chef. I wanted to hear what he wanted to say.
Take a second.
I said if a child doesn't know the difference between an adult telling them the right and wrong, so how do they know this particular adult is telling them right from wrong? How, if they're not the parent? You know what I'm saying? That's where disobedience comes from. How if you're out, if the child is at school, right, and there's an adult telling them what to do and what not to do, how do they distinguish whether it's right or wrong?
Well, I think now I remember. So, like I was saying, I think it still starts with the parents at home, because a lot of the situations that, like my daughter, she's in high school and she has situations that she doesn't agree with the teacher. A teacher's telling her that she wants to do it this way. A teacher wants her to do it a different way. And, we still have that conversation where I ask, so what do you want out of this? So, and my daughter tell me, I still want my good grade. Okay, then guess what? You have to do it the way the teacher wants you to do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't, whenever you're trying to get something, which is an education, you know what I'm saying? You can't dictate how a teacher, and it may not be fair. And I've seen it where it's not fair. It doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? But then that's a conversation we need to have, and then you bring your parent in to have that conversation to fix it or adjust it. But you got to make sure that you give them the safe place that they can come home and have that conversation and not be told to shut up, not be told to, just do what they say, and you didn't listen to what the problem was. But then the other aspect of it is that we've all done it. We've all been teenagers and we've all went a different way in some sort of way than our parent told us to go. And I believe that is also a learning tool too. Like when my daughter makes mistakes, or my son, I'll use him this time because he's made a lot more mistakes than my daughter. And when is that my mic? Okay. When he made the mistakes, I had to be there and let him know that, okay, how are we going to fix these mistakes? And I'm not going to save you. I'm not fixing this. You decided to do what I told you not to do. So now you have to deal with the consequences and you have to fix it. I'm not going to come here and protect you. I'm not going to come here and save you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do any of that, because I think it was even Michelle Obama who said that children should have their first incidents or conflict at home. It shouldn't be when they're 21, 25 out in this world, because then they don't know how to deal with conflict. So, the first time that a child should be treated unfairly should be at home. And it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to take that child and not give them what they want. It's okay to make them work for it. It's okay to tell them no just because you want to tell them no and want them to learn a lesson. You know what I'm saying? Just to see if, they're going to run out. I told them that you can't go outside. Let's see if you try to sneak outside. Let's see if you try to do this or you try to do that. You don't understand why I don't want to let you outside. That don't mean anything, because I want you to feel it here at home. So when you get out in this world, when somebody treats you unfairly, you don't react with emotion. You don't react with this. One of the things I told my oldest son now, who's 23, when he was from ages 2 to 5, he had a big head. And I used to tell him all the time, boy, you got a big head. Like your head's too big. Like, look at you. You're wobbling all over the place, son. You know what I'm saying? And then when he got to school, when they called him and said he had a big head, he didn't care. He didn't get upset because he's been told that every day at home. You know what I'm saying? And some people thought it was, some people would be like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, you actually can't. You know what I'm saying? And it teaches them. So when he got older, when he got, in school and this, that, and the other, and they had Joan or whatever, he wasn't the one crying. He wasn't the one saying, oh, you're mean. He'd be like, man, my daddy talked about me worse than that. So, it goes into that also. So, you got to have those conversations. You got to let your children fall. You got to let them fall, and you got to teach them to get up. The other thing that a generational curse. Since my wife is on here, me and my wife do not hide our arguments from our children. When we have an argument, we don't care if they're there or not. Now we tell them, mind your damn business, being your mom, because I told my daughter would get upset. And I told her why. I said, we're going to be together. Don't worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing that we discussing about these dishes going to mean we divorcing each other. You know what I'm saying? So you can mind your business, but it also teaches them that people can have an argument and still be together. Because if they don't see that, I have friends who've never seen their parents argue. And they had relationship issues because whenever they argue, I'm leaving, I'm running out the house. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. And now me and my wife, we've been 24 years married. One thing we laugh about is ain't nothing going to happen that's going to make us separate. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had to tell my daughter that because she used to get emotional about it. And I was like, yeah, now she don't care if we argue. You know what I'm saying? But it teaches them that you can have an argument and you can work through it and you can still love a person after. I think that is extremely important to let your children experience and show them. My wife has a comment in here where she said, home is a training ground for life. Train with those that love you and support your growth.
That's right.
There we go. So that's the Mrs. Beast one throwing her 2 cents in there. I love you, baby.
That's more than 2. We're gonna put that in more than 2 cents right there. But yeah, that's a good way to do it too. That is actually very good that you guys are very open with your children.
Don't get her started. Don't get her started.
Very good.
Yeah, that's good. That's part of communication though. That's part of communication. That's wonderful, I'm a little different. Me, I don't argue.
Oh I
me and my wife have a spat, or I the reason why this is, but watch this. There's a reason why I don't. Do we have disagreements? Of course, we have disagreements, but the reason why we don't argue is because I said, look, I'm human. I do get upset. So what I do is I said, listen, I don't want to talk about it right now. I'm upset. I acknowledge that I'm upset and that there's a possibility that I might say something that might hurt her feelings. So I said, you know what? At the moment, I'm upset. I can't talk right now. When I calm down, then we'll have a discussion. We'll have a talk. You know what I'm saying? We never go to bed upset, mad at each other, and then we wake up, we still thinking about the same thing. No. Hey, we probably won't talk about it for 2 days. But my wife, we gonna get it out. She gonna talk about it. She gonna be like, yo, stop playing. I'm looking at what your wife said. Look.
That's right.
She said 25 cents.
There you go.
No, that's what I do. I really don't even entertain that sometimes. I'd be like, look, we'll talk about it another time. And then we'll get to it, you know what I'm saying? Because and what I want to say is that that's good, because you know why it's good? It's because for the simple fact is that you teach them communication. Like you said, we're gonna have our disagreements, we're gonna have our arguments. That's what adults do. We have arguments and we get over it. And that's good, because guess what? That teaches them when they get into a relationship, listen, we gonna have arguments, but look, we gonna endure. That we ain't gonna let this argument separate us, you know what I'm saying? And that shows stability, that shows loyalty, that shows how we are human and we can have a disagreement, have an argument, and move on. Not let that consume our relationship, not let that consume our marriage. You know what I'm saying? And that's big. And I commend you on that, because that's key, because most people don't do that. They start moving, and people start hitting, people get knocked out in the eye. And then next thing you know, the cops involved. Right, Lady T?
I don't know about that type of life. I'm sorry.
Lady T, like, don't put me in that.
Don't even try it, okay? No.
Oh, so, but nah, but yeah, man. Look, Rodney, I'm jealous, because I could.
Oh,
it's
that. Years of therapy now. Don't get me twisted.
But I, like I said, I commend you, because that's good. Because
24 years together. That's long.
Years of therapy.
I mean, I've been through therapy too. Some people don't know that. Therapy is key, bro. Huh?
But y'all have longevity of life together.
I'm only 5 years in, newlywed. 5 years in, man. I got a long time.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, Rodney, did you say that you are a high school sweetheart?
So that's how they learn. That's how. Yes. But you know what? As people listen.
Yeah, I just go. Yeah, we met in high school. I was I was a junior. She was a sophomore.
That's how it go, man.
We've been together. College, made it through. All that kind of stuff. So it was great.
Y'all gonna live it and be 50 in your 50th anniversary type people. That's how y'all gonna be. So you made it past the 20. Hey, it's upward. Okay. There's no reason.
Yeah, but look, and believe me, it was all her, because I didn't get my life right until the last 10 years. So.
I trust you. I believe you. When you have a woman in your life, and you have a good woman, and you talking about her, I know she good. I know she did everything. Like, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
But look, I wanted to add something, because she did say 25 cents, and I was like, because that was on my mind. Negative money beliefs about money is something, a generational curse, that I think that it should be taught early. We have a way where we have a scarcity mindset thinking, or a materialism way of thinking, where we buy too much excess, or we're not really managing our money. I think that's very important at a young age. But of course, the parents need to know how to do it. But that's a generational curse that needs to be broken, because we out here able to make a lot of money, and we're not doing it the right way, because we have something that we do too much of, or maybe we have a scarcity mindset where we think lack all the time. Because if you're thinking lack a lot, you're going to keep getting lack in life. You know what I mean? Because that's what happens. Whatever you think, you're going to get back. So, put your seed out there that you want something different. You're going to get a different outcome. So sowing the seeds, right? Some get 5, 10, 15, 50, 100. That's true. And that's how we need to teach our children how to really have a money mindset that's not about scarcity or materialism. But that in this world, when it comes to materialism, I tell you, I don't know. That's going to be a tough road. But that's something that could be taught, that could be broken. That's a generational curse, I think.
I agree with you. I definitely agree with you that we don't talk about it. In our culture, kind of like if you talk to somebody about money, they think you want to rob them, or you want to be in their business. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times we've been taught as a people to keep it to yourself, don't talk about it, this, that, and other. But you know what? We talk about it on our show. We got Matty Ice is one of my co-hosts. He's Ice Cold Crypto. He deals with crypto and Bitcoin and stuff like that. And we really opened it. Like, we did a thing last year where we put $10 week, a paycheck, into a bank account and bought crypto with it. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of the year, I donated that money that we made to it was called Boys of Hope. It was a kids group in Kenya. We donated $700, and a lot of my the people that listen to my show, everybody's doing. Like, my brother still has his Bitcoin. He's up there now. So I mean, it's something that we need to definitely start talking about and encouraging each other to learn all this stuff, because the other cultures are doing it. The other cultures are buying houses and passing them to their family and keeping them in the generation, keeping this property, not selling it, and learning the value of what that property can do for you. You know what I'm saying? And this is all new to me for sure. My parents, I wish I had known. I would have never sold any of my parents' property. But it is like you said, something that we definitely need to discuss and break as a curse.
Yeah.
Back to you, Chef. So when you hear this.
Yeah, back to me, Chef. I hear y'all. I hear y'all 100%. Clear and crystal clear. I do. Huh? I don't know, man.
It's a delay, babe. It's a delay. It's okay.
T, you say I'm delayed, T?
Rodney says the same.
Jesus Christ, man. Why is it today? Why all of this? Huh?
It's okay. It's all right.
Well, how do you feel about what you got to say about the financial parts, Chef?
I don't know. I don't know. Financial is key. I mean, I did say that earlier. The finance is major. I think, but you know what? I think that the reason why we are so in the red with finance is because of TV. I think TV has a lot to do that, because that is the promotion of what we see and what we think life is and what it is supposed to be. Think about the shows that we watch when we were growing up. Not us now, because we're educated now. We know about it more so. But just think about the young generation now, what they're watching on TV. So guess what? It's programmed their mind to see what they think it's supposed to be. But when reality is not. So they're not really getting educated on it because they're stuck into watching these TV shows. They're stuck in this fashion. They're stuck in, what they think is cool, what they think is sexy, but don't have the real knowledge of, it's not cool to go out there and spend all $200, $300 on a pair of shoes, and you don't even have a pot to piss in. You don't even have your own place. You live at home with grandma and you want to go spend all this money. So, that's generational, because if you think about it from way back with our grandparents and ancestors, who taught them about finance? We're now educating our generational, and it's still going on because, like I said, the program that's on TV that a young generation is really watching, and they're not grasping the financial part. They think it's all about fast money, sex, drugs. That's it. They don't see finance a bit. They don't see investments. Not saying they all, but majority, they don't see investments. They don't know nothing about investments, because if they did, guess what? We would be in a better shape. We wouldn't be buying all these fancy clothes and nice, fancy cars, and don't have money in the bank.
I agree. I think social media.
How many high school students have money in the bank?
Yeah, I think social media is a problem too, because you see all these guys that are becoming Insta famous, and they think that, I'm just going to go out here. And, my oldest son, before he went to the Air Force, he told me he was going to play video games to become rich. You know what I'm saying? And then that didn't work out. So now he's in the Air Force. But I really think that social media shows all these people who just becoming Insta rich, or, off of really not really talent or a gift or anything like that. They just happen to be here at the right time doing the right meme. Like I can bring up the Hawk Tour girl now. Like, that is the dumbest thing ever to become famous for. And now, this girl is doing $100,000 tours. You know what I'm saying?
Who is this again?
Hawk Tour. You didn't hear? You never seen that on Instagram? Y'all been at church too much. I'm telling you.
No, I don't go to church. That's one thing he always talks about with me.
Okay.
I'll stop the church thing.
On social media, this girl, I don't want to react it, but she got famous for doing a specific duty to a male and going hot and spitting on it. And she now is making $100,000 to appear in nightclubs.
Wow.
Just off of one meme. One meme, that's it. So, and these kids are seeing this and think they can do, all I gotta do is make a meme and I'm so-called famous. Yeah. Which it's more likely, you're more likely to be in the NBA or the NFL before you become famous on social media. You know what I'm saying? So And I think that, and also, you know, I call this era the Google era, where they think everything is instant. You know what I'm saying? Everything should be given right to me when I want it, and I don't have to work for it. And, you know, and that's some of the things that, you know, there's another curse that is presented to our children, I feel, more than it is other children, to make them think, oh, I gotta be famous on TikTok or go to the NBA, go to the NFL, opposed to becoming a plumber. Or no kid today, if you go to any school, is going to say they want to grow up to be a plumber. I have a friend who's a plumber who owns his own business, making over $150,000 a year right now. You know what I'm saying? Who's a plumber who doesn't even work. Now he has other plumbers do all the work. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's something that I think we need to get back to understand, because, you know, as we go through society, you know, they already worried that the AI is going to take all the jobs. It's not going to take a plumbing job. It's not going to take an electrical job. It's not going to take your HVAC job. You know what I'm saying? But nobody's talking to our kids about that. They're not talking to our kids about that. They're talking to them about everything else but that. So,
well, I'm gonna say this. I think this is a conspiracy that they're trying to make our country dumb. I really believe this because of the educational system and how it's being worked now, and the things that they're not learning that we used to be able to learn. I heard handwriting is not learned anymore. Like, they're really trying to dumb us down as a country and the people. And so when I hear about children that are growing up in this world, I do look at us like, something's wrong. Like, we got problems. Like, because, and I get what you're saying. Most of them don't really have that desire to go out and work, because why? Everything has been shown to them not to work. The system has been rigged that way. And now we're learning about it because social media tells us this is what your children are not learning. But really, they should be learning about having a man that could be a woman in you know, that type of stuff. You know, we got too much. Don't get me started. Okay, I'm not going to do it. Okay, never mind.
I'm listening. Go ahead.
I don't even want to go into it. I just don't want to do it. But yes, I feel you on it. I do. But I do wonder what we're doing with this country when it comes to the laws, when it comes to our policies, what we are doing to our children. They are really trying to make the children dumb. I really believe that they're not educating the children anymore in a way where they want to go out there and get those jobs that have that skill for them to learn. Something's wrong, and it don't make no sense why it is this way. And I don't have young children anymore, but I hear it from others. And so it does concern me. So, it would be good to see some real big change in our school system in a way where it benefits the children, where it helps the children, where they're not, taking away certain things that they can learn from. And, even teaching them about finances in the school system. Things that we did not learn in school should be brought into the school system. I feel like we are paying taxes, and yet we're not really getting the benefit from the systems out there.
So they just started in our area. Matter of fact, 2 weeks ago, we had a guest. His name was Chris Shelton on, who is a teacher. He just started last year with a financial literacy class in high school. And I think he is like the only one in this area. We got all these high schools, and I live in a predominantly Black area. I live in PG County. PG County was at one point in time one of the richest Black counties in the United States. It actually was number one. Now it's Charles County, which is next to us. Yeah. So, I mean, our schools are predominantly Black, but it's crazy. And I even said that to him, I don't understand why we're still being taught American history and we're being lied to in that. Mm-hmm. And then, but I didn't know when I was in high school, not one teacher ever taught me about a bank account. Nope. You know what I'm saying? Not one teacher ever taught me anything. I knew about Christopher Columbus and all that, but and then all that was a lie. So then, but nobody sat there and told me about a joint savings account or what to put your money, or please, nobody definitely didn't explain stocks to me. Nope. You know what I'm saying? And this is all things that we definitely have to break that curse of educating our children about these things that other cultures implement in their household. They talk about these things. They tell their children, hey, well, if you like Amazon, buy some stock. They're giving their children stock for presents. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we definitely should be doing in setting ourselves up for financial, financial, like a financial gift. One of my friends, he's Asian. His parents told him that he was not to move out at 18, that he was going to stay there until he bought his very first home himself. So they let him stay there. He worked until he was able to buy his own house, save up his money, buy his own house, and then boom, then they moved out. And in our culture, we're like, oh no, you got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's definitely something that we should stop doing and breaking. Like my son lived with me till he was 23 and got himself together. Now he's out, in the Air Force and all that. But I don't believe in throwing your kids out either. Like we should definitely be changing that and setting them up for financial, to be able to be established where they're not out here struggling, when they have options. You know what I'm saying? Don't sell that house. Keep it for your grandkids. So,
yeah. Oh well, big up to PG. I used to live there, so we neighbors. So I used to love PG. PG is like home.
Yeah. I've been here too long. I can't wait to get out of here.
You tired.
Huh?
Yeah, overseas is the plan for me.
Yeah, but
Rodney, you stay there, bro.
I'm gonna keep my house, but I'm moving overseas, dog. As soon as I get a chance, my wife get a job overseas, we gone.
Out.
I'm ready, man. I told her Italy, Greece. Like we just came back from Bali. Where you want to go? Just answer it. You're gonna hear it 10 minutes later. Not 10 minutes, but 10 seconds later. I got it. But we're gonna go as soon as we can. We're gonna take our youngest son with us. My daughter's in college. We're gonna take my youngest son with him, and I want him to experience another culture. He's really smart. He's in the talented and gifted program, so I think he'll flourish in another area. Just trying something different, man. I told my kids it's always something different, more than PG County. Don't ever think you have to stay here. Like travel the world, see other cultures. My oldest son, he wants to go to Japan. That's where he wants to be shipped out to. You know what I'm saying? My daughter, she's only looking at schools that have nursing abroad programs. She's in a nursing program, so she already is getting her certificates when she graduates high school. So, but she wants to go abroad and do things like that. And I mean, me and my wife have definitely encouraged that. That's a generational curse too. Thinking that people got to stay in their hood, stay in their neighborhood.
Thank you.
You do not go. This world is amazing.
Yes.
Like it is so amazing. And life's too short to be stuck in PG County all your life. I couldn't imagine telling getting old and the only place I've been is here. Are you serious? Like, no, it's so much out here. Please go travel. Please tell your kids to go somewhere beautiful and see what it is. It'll change your life. Yeah. I saw the sunrise in Bali and was crying. You know what I'm saying? Like I couldn't believe how God created something so beautiful and I had never seen it before. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, it's something that hey, you can call me soft if you want. I'm telling you, that joint had me in that joint crying. And I was like, yo, and I came back different. Because, I'm like, God created this. Like, yo, I gotta do more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing enough. So that's another generational curse we need to break. It's like, look, have your kid go, travel, see new things, try new things. Don't be afraid of another culture.
That's right. That's right.
There you go, Lady T. Sorry. Went on a little rant there.
No, I love it. My daughter, she actually just got back from Japan. That was their second time. They're talking about moving there. And I'm like, wow, She talks like they really are going to do it. And I have to be open to, visiting my grandbabies and, the future in Japan, that type of lifestyle. I'm okay with it. It'll be good. And I'm looking forward to it. I've traveled too, but to go somewhere where your children live, it'll be different. And especially if I'm not living with them. So I'm like, man, it would be great if I could live out there with them.
I'm gonna leave every light on in the house when I come.
Yeah. But the kids are walking around free, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds walking around by themselves. I hear so much greatness about Japan. You want it to stay that way. And it's just like going to different places and you see the culture, you just appreciate God more because you truly do see the different people in their life and how you're the same, but you're different. And it's beauty in it. You see the essence of what God can do for other people in a different place, in a different scenery. And it's so gorgeous. Wherever you go, most of the time, it's so gorgeous. Even, the ghettos. Ghettos can look gorgeous to our eyes just because of the fact that there are ghettos still. Even in our countries, there are ghettos. But the point is, you get to see it. So I totally agree with you. I cannot wait to get the hell up out of Maryland. Lord knows I can't wait.
Yeah, my wife said she's applying to Germany now and buy your kids passports for Christmas.
They got them. They got them. But yeah, Germany. Oh yeah. Oh, was it that bond thing that you can drive around? Autobahn. Yeah. Oh yes, that's one place. I'll be the first place I go to.
Yeah.
Put your foot down.
I used to ride motorcycles and stuff like that. My wife, I wouldn't even touch that Autobahn. I wouldn't come back. My wife, that'd be the end of that. She'll have that life insurance out. Hey, that's another thing. Life insurance.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing is a culture that we don't talk about.
Very good.
I definitely have life insurance. I have life insurance in all my family, my kids. Mm-hmm. When my mother passed away, if she didn't have life insurance, you know how difficult that would have been for me. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God she had it because I got to bury her and do the things that I wanted to do for her and even for me to heal. You know what I'm saying? Because my wife, my mother also passed away suddenly too, just like my father did. So that was something, it took me years through therapy to realize that I have abandonment issues. So, and that is something that my wife has helped me with, also. So, and it's all these things that you learn about yourself, especially when you get older and you go in therapy. The thing about it is when you have these issues, when I went into therapy, when the therapist told me that, it actually like opened the door for me that made me understand a lot of things. A lot of decisions I was making was because of my abandonment issue. Like my wife couldn't leave the house for longer than 2 days or I would get belligerent drunk and revert right back to that 11-year-old and don't know how to deal with it. I would always start an argument with her before she left because I didn't want her to leave, but I didn't understand that. And once I understood it, now she can go. You know what I'm saying? It took me some time, but now she can go. And when I have those feelings, we discuss it and we talk it out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's still something I still struggle with, but I didn't even know. It's crazy when you struggle with something and you didn't know you were struggling. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that's the other thing about getting therapy. Hey, you'll find out stuff that'll really clear some things out, especially about your childhood.
Mm-hmm. So. It's good. It's good for you. And you're self-reflecting on it and you're able to self-reflect to see it within yourself about yourself. That is something that most people kind of still, avoid in a way, to not really see that truth, but it takes time. But yeah, you see it. When you see it, yeah, I'm the same way. I definitely got mine. So, but therapy is very, very good. But that's like having one person that you truly feel that you're connected to. And that can be hard to find because when you go to therapy, it takes time to find that right person because that's one of those things you just, a hit and miss sometimes. Not unless you get referred by, somebody tells you this person's really good and they really are.
Yeah, 100%. Chef, you want to join us? You back in? You good? We'll wait. Get 10 seconds here.
I don't know. Today, well, I tell you, man, today is acting up, man. But look, I'm glad y'all had that conversation down, man. Y'all held it down, man. Y'all held it down for Chef, man. I appreciate it. today was a rough day.
It's okay.
But listen, Rodney,
Yes, sir.
it was a pleasure to have you on. Listen, we gonna be on tomorrow. I'm gonna have a different setup tomorrow because this right here, I ain't gonna have this tomorrow. I'm gonna have a different setup tomorrow, different scene because this messed me all up today. But listen, I'm so pleasure. I mean, it's an honor to have you on, but also it's an honor to meet you for the first time, and we got more to come. And listen, you always welcome. All you gotta do is text me, let me know, man. You always welcome to come. This is an open platform. We just discuss things like that. Sometimes people don't like to discuss and talk about, but we are here for that, and we want to encourage and uplift and change the perspective of how people think, and what's going on in their life, and just talk about things that we all can relate to, and we want to be encouraging and uplift them in spirit and truth, and that's what we are here to do. Yes, and by the way, some people be asking me, yes, I am a chef, a real chef, not a cook. I'm a chef, okay? This is not about chefs. I have outside of cooking, I have something else that I love to do, and that's to encourage people, talk with you, or on a level of spirituality, if not spirituality, just having a conversation with people, especially my lady T, and just here we just want just encouraging. That's it. We talk about the word of God sometimes, but this is right here is something that can touch home for all people from all walks of life, and so that's what we do here, man. So like I said, you're always welcome to come, but we're gonna end this show. It was a pleasure to have you. Lady T, stay on. And we'll talk. I'll talk to you soon.
It was great,
Can I give my shout out real quick? I don't know if you're gonna hear me.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, let's go. No, right here. Shout out.
Yeah, so you can catch me on Dad Mentality.
Rodney, go ahead.
Dad_mentality on all platforms, and check us out. We do our show Monday, 7:00 Eastern time, and we have a lot of different topics, different things. I definitely will have Chef on it, but shout out to everybody who joined us today. Shout out to my wife, my daughter who's watching, my boy Trey. I see he's in the comments also, and shout out to the Morning Mac show. That's also another show that I tend to try to be on. That's Monday through Friday. I love doing this. I love having the conversations. Thank you for having me here, Chef and Lady T. Appreciate both of y'all opening this spot. Hey, I would love to join y'all again. I got no problem with it. Whatever the topics are, I have fun and just enjoy myself. So I'm about to get ready to play some zombies with my kids and have a good night. So if you want Call of Duty, Zombies, you can hit me on the Beast One is my gamer tag. Add me. I play with a lot of friends and people all the time, so I'm down for it. So, but if you're not running zombies, then I can't zombies or Warzone. Then I ain't playing none of that multiplayer jump respawn and shoot things. So, but thank you for having me. It's great times, and thank you again.
It was good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
We'll do it again.
Yes.
We're gonna do it again. All right. Good to meet you. All right. Hold on, T.